Hi, Eric Gibaud, ericgibaud.com, and today I'm going to speak about something maybe you completely disagree with me. So I invite you to leave your opinion in comments, okay? So I want to answer something that many people ask. Do I think that prices are going up more and more for photography gear? Do I think that the future of photography is just for rich people? Nothing against rich people. But if you don't have the money to practice something, that may be a problem for some people, okay? But we're going to see if this is true or not, and my opinion. So let's start. I think we all know that all prices are going up. We've seen it in everything, okay? The thing is, does photography gear goes up the same way as inflation on other products? Well, it depends on which country you are, so it's hard to know exactly. But yes, it does seem that prices are going next to this, okay? Close to inflation. But there's another thing that we realize that when a new product comes, the one that was just before normally has better offer, a really big drop in prices. So maybe we're not looking at the right price or the right product, but this is where the notion of range, I mean, if it's entry level, pro level, all this, we're going to look into to speak about this, that may influence also on the prices we actually see. And don't forget that the big chunk of the price is also the transport. All our cameras are made in Asia, most of them, maybe not all of them, sorry Hasselblad and Leica, but most of them are made in Asia. It means that once it's made, you have to transport it to Europe or to South America, to the US or wherever, okay, Australia. So that puts higher cost, okay, because now the petrol is really high. So it's many things together. But I think the reason is probably maybe more marketing than price, really. We're going to look at this. If we look at history, before it was a lot harder to have information on every type of cameras because you had to buy a magazine and read it, and normally they were organized for amateur or for professional. So if you were checking a magazine for amateur, you would probably see the best camera for you, not probably the best camera for a professional. For them, there were other magazines or special fair or pro fair to show them really top gear, okay? Nowadays, that's over this. Now we have the information about everything. And before, maybe they would not speak, you would check like a Nikon, a model that would be fine for you, but in that magazine, you would not see a Nikon F5, for example. That was for pro. Probably you would not see it in this magazine, okay? But nowadays, yes, you do, because it's on the internet, it's on YouTube. So you just feel that, like, this is the camera to have. So there was always different level. The entry level, like beginners, then the mid level for advanced photography, a bit more advanced, a bit more than beginner, then advanced level, that would be some amateur would use it and some pro would also use it, professional photographer. And then you had two kinds of professional. The normal professional, I would say, like a portrait photographer, for example, and then the extreme pro that needs to make sport photography in the North Pole, okay? So in this case, they need extreme use, extreme situation, so that would be the top, okay? Before, we would never speak about these cameras. Well, the pro would speak about it, but the normal, like me, or amateur, would not speak about this really top of the range. When I say like me, I mean like me when I was amateur. Now, I've got the information anyway as a pro, and anyway, anyone has the information nowadays, okay? So nowadays, when a new top of the range camera comes out, everyone is speaking about it. Before, no, just a pro. So it makes that now we see the latest Sony Alpha 1, for example, and we all want it, or many of us want it, or the Z9 or whatever. But these are cameras that were never thought for Mr. Anyone. They were thought for professional. But the feeling we have is that when we see the price tag, this camera is the one we need, and this is the camera we cannot afford. So they're creating frustration. So the thing is, does this mean that the rest of the cameras are affordable? Does this mean the rest is okay? Maybe not. We're going to see that, okay? But first, the marketing is really helping people having a feeling of frustration when they cannot afford the new camera, the latest camera, and the top of the range camera. So nowadays, the technique is to make us dream about the top camera. So we enter a car seller and we see a Twingo and a Ferrari. We all understand that, well, many of us, most of us, I do anyway, understand that we cannot afford the Ferrari and we probably don't need it. So we get the Twingo and we don't feel bad about this, okay? But with camera, it's another story. We see the top of the range and we feel this is what we need. And we feel this is what we could afford when we cannot afford it, okay? I think the problem is people are not analyzing exactly what they need and the budget they actually have for their photography gear, okay? If they would analyze the situation, probably they would feel that they don't need that top of the range camera. And if they would analyze really the budget, they would see that there are some things within the budget for them, okay? So the marketing makes us completely think wrong, okay? But still, I think there are some good points and good news for people who cannot afford top of the range camera. We need to speak about that. We should not forget about the way the makers are making cameras or cars. They normally make a top of the range product, and then they develop new technology, and then when the technology works, they start to put it in lower level cameras or cars, okay? But this means that before, when they create a top of the range camera, the margin they would earn would be really small because they had to get the money back and investment back on a really tough investigation. They would really make money on lower level cameras. But more and more, you see that people who are not pro photographers, they do spend money on cameras that were thought for professional. So it means nowadays they have more people buying, and now they can make money with this top of the range camera. Money they would not make before. They would have to put technology in lower range cameras, okay? Lower level, okay? So it means that nowadays they feel like, okay, it's not just cameras, also lenses and some accessories too. Now they see that they can make as much money on a 3,000 euro lens than on 10 lenses that cost 300 euros. Probably they make more with a 3,000 euro lens. It's easier to sell to one person than to 10 right now. So for them, they feel it's not just the price, it's also the cost of transport, maintenance, technical services. If I sell just one lens, maybe it fails, but I need maybe one employee. If I sell 10 lenses and 5 fail for any problem, just an example, okay? I need more staff to be prepared for if anything happens, okay? So it means for them, it's a lot more money to sell top of the range camera. So why don't they almost neglect or abandon the entry-level cameras or lower-level cameras? Well, basically because it's a really competitive market. And really, for them, they see that most of these clients, they're better with a smartphone. So many people say that smartphone killed photography, and that's not true. Smartphone didn't kill anything. They make that more and more people are making pictures, okay? But what is going on is that many people, like my grandmother, who had a point-and-shoot film camera, she didn't know anything about photography, but she would make a picture of the vacation and would come home and go to the shop and have the picture developed. Well, these people, when digital photography arrived, they stopped using film cameras, but then smartphones were not as developed as now. So they would buy a camera, entry-level camera, and would use it. But smartphones are getting better and better and better. So these people, they feel a lot more comfortable with a smartphone than a camera. They don't want to know about photography. They just want to press and get a picture. Point and shoot. That's simple. So this means that many of these people, they would still like to have a camera because they don't like to hold a smartphone or this. But really, most people, they're happy with a smartphone. I think makers, they could have implement in entry-level cameras the same technology we have in smartphone, artificial intelligence and many help that makes picture really easy. Because some people still want to swap lenses, or they want to play a bit with a real camera, things like this. But still, for them, it seems not to be really interesting. So this is why we see less and less entry-level or mid-level cameras. And even though they put the prices up there, okay? So we're going to see what is the future for people who cannot afford the top of the range camera or this higher price camera. What can they do if they don't want a smartphone? So What happens if you cannot afford this top of the range camera? Well, I've got good news for you. But for this, you must have a mentality that accepts it and see the point. When you go and buy a car, if you cannot afford a new car, what do? You buy a second-hand car. And we all do it, I do it, and most people in the world buy a second-hand or third-hand or fourth-hand car or more, okay? And that's okay, that's part of the game. We all know that, okay? But with cameras, most of us, we want a new camera, touch it for the first time, feel it for the first time. So we buy what we can afford. And very often what we can afford is not top of the range camera. You don't have many features you would like to have, and then you feel you will never get this dream camera. So if you change the chip, then you will think about that. First, you need to analyze your needs. What do I need? And then if what you need is not in an affordable camera, new camera, then check the second-hand market. It's a lot better to buy a 4-5-year-old top-of-the-range camera than an entry-level new, right now, a new one. The features are better, the build is better, the autofocus is better, it's weather-sealed very often. It's a lot better to buy a 4-5-year-old top camera than a new one entry-level, okay? Many people don't see it, they don't think about it, but this is the future. The future of cars is you buy it new, you buy second-hand. And now in cameras, the minimum money you need to spend to have a good camera is higher than before. So you have some really basic camera, but then the camera that starts to be nice, okay, then it's already a lot more money than before. So instead of spending that money on that camera that is not as good as you wish, check the rest, the older one. I made a video, I'll leave you the link here, explaining what you should take care of and beware when you buy second-hand. There are some shops that sell second-hand also. By the way, there's K&H. I'll leave you the link in the description where you can buy there, okay? And they give guarantee if you buy in a shop all day, so that's not bad to buy second-hand. But anyway, this is the future. So, what do I think of this? Well, I think this is not fair. Why isn't it fair? Well, basically because all these people who were buying entry-level camera, mid-range camera for many years are the people that helped this company make money. Because at that time, they were not making money with top-of-the-range camera, okay? They were not, with a high level, they were not making money. So this is because we were buying lower level that they could afford it. And now they see that's not the point. Their target is not us. Their target now is a doctor, nothing against doctors, okay? That goes on a safari to Kenya with a 3,000 body camera and 10,000 lens, 10,000 euros lens. And that's fine for him, okay? And that's not us. That's him, okay? Nothing against him, nothing that someone who can afford something that is top buys it. I think it's fine. If you have the money, spend it and enjoy it, okay? I think that. But this is not fair for all these people who, thanks to them, this company survived, okay? So, understand this is a business. This is not the Red Cross. So, that's logical. They want to make money. But still, I tell you why I think this is not fair and this is not correct. Because not only it's not correct for many people, but if you think about the creators of this company, like the Nikon, like Canon, like Olympus and more, there were people in love with photography. They created this company to spread photography in the world. So more people could have a camera, make picture, enjoy photography. And their first target was not to be really rich, only making profit. The idea was really to democratize photography. But there are people now, you have this company like shareholders or son of grandson of great-grandson of these founders, don't have this mentality. Their priority is not to spread photography. Their priority is to make money. So this is why everything is changing. And this is sad that people with almost nothing that created cameras like 60, 17 years ago or 50 years ago for some, depends. They had a philosophy that was beautiful. And nowadays, these companies don't have this beautiful philosophy. It sounds really romantic, what I'm saying. It will sound stupid to some people, but I think this is a pity because they like deny their founder mentality, and that's a pity, okay? But still, we don't have any other choice. If we want top cameras and we cannot afford it, we need to check on second-hand market. And if you can afford it and you love it, go for it. There's no shame about having money, no shame about having the best camera you can afford, okay? Go for it. So this is my opinion. I would like to know yours in comments. And if you feel this, so thank you for watching the video, and if you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Small button down here, so small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, gibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. I'll also leave you links from my gear on Amazon, links over everything I've reviewed by K&F Concept, Sandmarc, and Flashes by Westcott, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much, please take care of yourself, and see you soon. Bye.